Have you ever wondered what role Iran plays in biblical prophecy? How does the ancient empire of Persia connect to the prophecies about the end times? Could modern-day Iran be fulfilling ancient predictions in the Bible? In this video, we'll explore these fascinating questions and uncover the truth about Iran's significance in biblical history and prophecy. Stay with us until the end as we journey through ancient scriptures, from Cyrus the Great to the mysterious kings of the East, and discover what the Bible really says about Iran. You won't want to miss it. The intersection of history, prophecy, and the divine plan is a fascinating subject. When we speak about the truth about Iran in the Bible, we are delving into ancient Persia, the land that occupies much of modern-day Iran. The Bible mentions Persia several times, often in connection with major historical and prophetic events. To understand Iran's role in biblical prophecies, we must first consider how biblical authors perceive the world around them and their interactions with the Persian Empire. The Bible does not mention modern Iran directly, but it does speak of the region's ancient predecessor, Persia. This ancient empire played a significant role in the lives of the Jewish people, and its rulers are key figures in biblical narratives. Furthermore, many biblical prophecies concern kingdoms from the east, including Persia, and speak of their influence over Israel and the surrounding nations. Through these accounts, we can explore how biblical texts foresee the spiritual significance of this region and its people. Persia and the Jews. A historical context to understand Iran's biblical significance. It's important to appreciate Persia's profound historical role in the life of the Jewish people. In the 6th century BC, the Persian Empire was founded by Cyrus the Great. His empire eventually stretched from the Balkans in Eastern Europe to the Indus Valley, including Babylon, where many Jews were exiled. The Babylonian Empire, ruled by Nebuchadnezzar, had previously conquered Jerusalem, destroyed Solomon's temple, and carried off many Jews into captivity. This period of exile is known as the Babylonian captivity or exile, one of the most significant events in Jewish history. However, the Persian ruler Cyrus became an unexpected liberator. The book of Isaiah refers to Cyrus as God's anointed or Messiah. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 1, an extraordinary label given that Cyrus was not an Israelite. Yet, it was Cyrus who issued a decree allowing the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. Ezra chapter 1 verses 1 to 4. This act of kindness and respect towards the Jewish faith set Persia apart from other empires that had oppressed the Israelites. Cyrus, God's anointed shepherd. Cyrus is an exceptional figure in biblical prophecy. Isaiah, writing decades before Cyrus's rise, foretold that a ruler from the east would come to deliver God's people. Isaiah chapter 44 verse 28-45 to 13. These chapters of Isaiah speak with remarkable precision about Cyrus's role in ending the Babylonian captivity, even naming him long before his birth. The Hebrew term for anointed, Mashiach, usually refers to kings or priests, but in Isaiah chapter 45 verse 1, it is uniquely applied to a non-Israelite king, showing that God can raise up leaders outside of Israel to accomplish his purposes. Cyrus is portrayed as a servant of God's will, someone who unknowingly fulfills divine prophecies. The freeing of the Jews and their return to Israel under his reign was seen as part of God's broader plan for his chosen people. Through Cyrus, the Persians are depicted as instruments in God's hand, fulfilling a positive role in the restoration of Israel. This part of Iran's biblical heritage remains one of its most striking and hopeful prophecies. Daniel and the Kings of Persia. The book of Daniel also provides insights into Persia's role in biblical prophecy. Daniel, a Jew living in exile in Babylon and later under Persian rule, had a series of visions that included Persia's involvement in world events. In Daniel 2, King Nebuchadnezzar dreams of a giant statue representing successive empires, starting with Babylon, then Persia, followed by Greece and Rome. Persia is symbolized as the chest and arms of silver, representing its might and influence as a world power after Babylon's fall. Later in Daniel 7, Daniel sees a vision of 4 beasts, which are also interpreted as kingdoms. Persia is depicted as a bear, symbolizing its strength and voracity. In these visions, Persia is a dominant force in the world, but is also part of God's larger plan to bring his kingdom into the world through a succession of empires, each of which plays a role in shaping Israel's history and preparing the way for the Messianic kingdom. The Persian Empire in Zechariah. The prophet Zechariah also speaks of Persia in relation to the rebuilding of Jerusalem. In Zechariah chapter 1 verses 18 to 21, the prophet has a vision of 4 horns and 4 craftsmen. The horns represent the nations that scattered Israel, and many scholars believe Persia is one of the nations alluded to here. But in contrast to Babylon and other empires that oppressed Israel, Persia is seen as a power that God uses to protect his people. Persia and the future, Iran and eschatological prophecies. Many biblical prophecies extend beyond the immediate context of ancient Persia and speak of future events that have been interpreted as involving modern Iran. Some of these prophecies come from the books of Ezekiel and Revelation, which contain apocalyptic visions that may have relevance for Iran's role in the end times. Ezekiel's prophecy, Gog and Magog. One of the most famous passages often associated with Iran is found in Ezekiel chapters 38 to 39. In these chapters, the prophet Ezekiel speaks of a future invasion of Israel by a coalition of nations led by a figure named Gog from the land of Magog. This coalition includes Persia, modern-day Iran, along with Cush, Sudan, Ethiopia, Put, Libya, Gomer, possibly parts of Eastern Europe, and Beth Togarmah, likely parts of modern Turkey. Ezekiel describes how these nations will come against Israel in the last days but will be defeated by divine intervention. The identity of Gog and Magog has been widely debated throughout history. Some interpreters see them as representing a northern confederation led by Russia, with Persia, Iran, as a key ally in this eschatological war. This prophecy has fueled much speculation among biblical scholars, especially as modern geopolitics have seen increasing tensions between Israel and Iran. Some believe that this alliance of nations, including Iran, could represent a future threat to Israel, while others see this prophecy as already fulfilled or symbolic of larger spiritual battles. Revelation's Kings of the East. Another possible reference to Iran in biblical prophecy comes from the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 16 verse 12, the sixth angel pours out his bowl on the Euphrates River, drying it up to prepare the way for the kings of the East. Some interpreters believe that these kings may represent nations from the region of Iran and beyond, perhaps leading a coalition that marches against Israel in the final battle of Armageddon. While the kings of the East are not explicitly identified as Iranians, the geography of the prophecy suggests that nations to the east of Israel will play a significant role in the end times. Given Iran's historical and current influence in the region, many have speculated that this prophecy could be linked to Iran and its potential future role in world affairs. Modern Iran and biblical prophecy. As the modern state of Iran has emerged as a significant power in the Middle East, many students of biblical prophecy have looked to ancient scriptures for clues about its future role. Iran's adversarial relationship with Israel, its pursuit of nuclear technology, and its involvement in regional conflicts have led some to view the nation as fulfilling prophetic warnings about future wars and conflicts involving Israel. However, it's essential to approach these interpretations with caution. While the Bible provides many prophecies about the future, their exact timing and fulfillment are often open to interpretation. Prophecies concerning Persia and the future must be read in light of the broader biblical narrative and with humility, acknowledging that God's ways are often mysterious and unfold in ways that may surprise us. Spiritual insights. The role of Iran in God's plan. Despite the ominous tone of some prophecies, the Bible's portrayal of Persia, Iran, is not wholly negative. As seen in the story of Cyrus, God can use nations, even those outside his covenant with Israel, to fulfill his divine purposes. Persia was a place of great significance for the Jewish people, both as a land of exile and as a land of deliverance. In a broader spiritual sense, the Bible's treatment of Persia, Iran reflects a theological truth. God is sovereign over all nations. Even those nations that seem opposed to his people can be used for his glory. The story of Cyrus reminds us that God's plan is not limited by geography, politics, or ethnicity. He can work through anyone, anywhere, to accomplish his purposes. Furthermore, Iran's biblical history invites Christians, Jews, and others to pray for the nation. As a place of great historical and prophetic significance, Iran is a key player in the ongoing spiritual and geopolitical drama of the Middle East. Whether in the past or in the future, Iran has been, and likely will continue to be, a significant part of God's unfolding plan for the world. Conclusion. The Bible presents a complex and multifaceted view of Iran, ancient Persia. From Cyrus the Great's role in liberating the Jews to the eschatological prophecies of Ezekiel and Revelation, Persia has been a key player in the biblical narrative. The nation's historical and prophetic significance is clear, but so too is the message that God is in control of history, guiding the actions of nations toward his ultimate purpose. In understanding the truth about Iran in the Bible, we see a nation that has been both a friend and a foe of Israel, a liberator and a potential adversary in the last days. Yet throughout these interactions, God's sovereign hand is evident, reminding us that no nation is outside his divine plan and that, in the end, his purposes will prevail.